All right. Good morning, everyone.
Katie, I don't know
Hi,
if I'll
Mo.
ever get tired of that. Like that sexy Digital Jamaica logo
Don't
coming out. Yeah,
We're going to your things over here. Do your things over here. Good morning, guys. If you are watching on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter,
yeah.
welcome to another episode of the Digital Jamaica Live Show. I'm your host, Katie Francis.
And I am Monique
Ooh, we have an
McIntosh.
exciting show for you guys today because some of us are single. Yeah. And just and I know I'm not the only one who has turned to the digital space to try to find love.
Yeah,
Right? Because we're lonely here, social distancing and all, right?
yeah.
But today we have a lineup of awesome people. They're going to be
Listen,
talking to us about love and relationship during these COVID times. Yeah.
and
And
everything
giving
in
us
between.
everything in between, sharing tips and advice as to how we can traverse the online space safely. But whether
Yeah.
offline or online, how can we find love? How can we prepare ourselves mentally to be in a relationship? Because COVID mash you up. And not just a bank account feeling. You understand? All right. So coming up on the show, we have the tech word of the day and our trivia question.
Mhm.
And in our tech news segment, we are looking at the GOJ's Serve program. Now, that's a very interesting program that we're gonna kind of deep dive this
Delve
morning.
into. Yes, and on technically speaking, Katie,
Mhm.
you saw the Google form, though.
I
You
saw
saw
the Google
The
form.
Google form. Guys are talking to Philippa Wilson, aka Pippa Joy, who set up that dating Google form, and we're gonna talk about it. If you don't know about it, you're gonna find out today. Later on, we're gonna have a panel discussion. We're gonna have Marlon Cooper, Shelly-Ann Weeks, Steffon Campbell, and Kaysha Franklin. No, I know most of these people, and this promises to be an exceptional
Yes,
conversation
ma'am.
where we're gonna go in on a lot of stuff, and some things you're not gonna want to hear, but we're gonna go in on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
uh, and they're gonna share advice on relationship and dating, and as Katie would have mentioned, preparing yourself as well, because a lot of the work has to do with you.
And
And
maybe we can prompt Monique to share her story because it's an
I
online
want this
story to
stolen.
them.
I want this stolen.
All right, we want to hear from you guys, so make sure that you are commenting, leaving your 2 cents. We're putting up the comments on the screen so we can all share. All
Yeah.
right, but we want to let you
Before,
guys know that we have a sponsor.
yes,
Yes,
I was just
yes, we have a
saying, prompting to
sponsor.
go back there.
Thanks
Yeah.
to our good friend Gavin Dennis over at
Yes.
G5 Cyber Security,
Yes.
protecting families and business. You can visit www.g5cybersecurity.com to get an assessment and to see if you are compliant with the Data Protection Act. Okay,
Hmm.
so Gavin is gonna help you with that. But Monique, yes, because
Yes.
of some juiciness come up,
Yes.
we need to go straight into we need to get started and just go straight into it because I'm sure people are waiting for that conversation.
And just to prep you as well, we're gonna have some tips on dating virtually. Saidah Dennis, a boss lady at Date Night JM. She's
Mhm.
gonna be sharing a little something special, so you have to stay tuned for that. Okay, so imagine a handsome, chunky man slides into your DMs. He's telling you all the right things, all the things that you want to hear, absolutely doting on you. The profile picture is cute, the job is good, and the money is even better. And they're talking about flying you out to Paris and France. Eventually, you decide to meet up with this person, and when you show up, not only does the physical not match, the story don't match neither. Unfortunately, if that sounds like you've been catfished. According to the Urban Dictionary, which is a dictionary you go to when you want to find out these terms, catfishing is when a fake or a stolen identity, because the person could have been real, but it's not them. Yeah, is created and or used for the purposes of beginning a deceptive relationship. Now, catfishing is actually coming from a term because fishermen and seafarers used to catch catfish with cod, which is a more premium fish, to keep them active and to keep their flesh fresh during long hauls. So them want to keep for them flesh fresh too on some. Anyways, on a documentary of the same name that was put out in 2010, Nev, a guy who started an online relationship with a lady named Angela. He met Angela on Facebook and they exchanged over 1,500 messages with each other. Only to find out that not only was Angela fake, everything that she told him was untrue. She was married, a bene, and created 15 other accounts to prolong her deception. So the documentary actually led to a TV show which is superbly popular, which is called Catfished. So if you never know, now you know. So that leads us straight to our trivia question for today. What was the name of the first online dating site, and in which year was it launched? Was it Plenty of Fish 2001, eHarmony 1986, Match.com 1995, or OkCupid 1998? Guys, drop your answer in the chat. We are here, we're ready, we want to hear your answers, we want to see what you guys say, so that we can we can say, ooh, maybe it's right, maybe. All right.
Yeah, that catfish something the wicked. And I've watched a couple episodes of the actual show Catfish, and some people are just so barefaced with it. It's like, yeah, and what?
Terrible.
You must like the inner me, not the outer me. It's like, right? But let's quickly go into our news story. So, guys, in his budget debate, Dr. Nigel Clark announced that the government was rolling out a $60 billion post-COVID recovery and economic, what is called a social and economic plan called Economic Recovery and Vaccine Program for Jamaica, aka SERVE. So we love our acronyms down here, right? AKA SERVE. Now, according to the JIS, this government program, they're out of that $60 billion, they're going to be allocating money towards $321 million to be exact, towards a sub program for where they're going to purchase computer devices. They have not said what these computer devices were, but they're going to be purchasing computer devices, and they're going to be distributed throughout the all 63 constituencies to students who did not benefit before from similar initiatives, because they were having their tablet in schools program. So if the child didn't benefit from that, then they can benefit from this one, right? So the computers are going to be acquired from eLearning Jamaica Limited and should be available in August of this year. Now we have some questions, Monique. We have some questions, some things I want to answer to. Because the problem we have with these programs is that they seem to be a little piecemeal. You do a little thing right here, so, and then you do a little thing right here, so, and they don't seem to be, there doesn't seem
cohesive, comprehensive together. Plan. Because why, I mean, grateful, but why couldn't it be a part of the other initiatives so that you're sure about not duplicating? Because this is a whole nother team doing a whole nother rollout. How it sounds so far is that the MP is going to help with the distribution.
Because if you're going through local government,
right, so the councillor and the MP.
It's a part of the constituency development fund. So one of the problems is that it's the councillors who get to decide, apparently, who gets the tablets. No, we all know how we tribal
politicize. Why?
Everything. Can you imagine if you're in a constituency where the party you support is not the party in power? You're picking them men or getting no computer device. That's one issue that can come up with that. And two, the program is limited to 100 students per constituency, which means what, 63,000 students. How much picnic there at Jamaica? No. Last week they said that 120,000 students were missing or absent or was not attending classes. So compare that to 63, we're not gonna give access to device. And then the next thing is, I think in my mind, the biggest problem is internet connectivity. Yeah. What are we doing about that? We're spending $321 million on devices. But what about internet connectivity? Because I think that's probably the biggest problem. I'm not hearing anybody talk about how we're going to boost that kind of infrastructure so that more students can have access to the internet so they can access their classes. We have not heard a comprehensive plan about back to school. We have fumbled that ball so much, and we continue to fumble the ball. And while we're happy that all of these initiatives are going to come into play, and while we commend the government because at least they're making an effort, we need a comprehensive plan. We need it for so like we don't know what to do. I'm not confident that we don't know what to do. I'm not confident that we want to sort out the thing good yet, because we're spending a lot of money creating this attendance tracking app. Are these computers or whatever you're giving these students going to be equipped with this tracking app? Are you going to put the lessons on the systems? How is this going to work? As usual, when we're talking about these things, a lot of information is not given. So we have a full picture of what exactly is going to happen, so we can ready up ourselves. So we know, so people can know, what is happening. It seems like how they did that voucher thing the other day where you get mostly a certain amount of money to go towards getting the tablets, but you could have only get certain type of tablets from certain type of people, and the tablet that they were giving out don't have no Wi-Fi connectivity. You can't put data on it. You have to be in somewhere where have Wi-Fi to use it. This is what we're talking about. It's not looking like we don't know what we not do. And that has me worried a bit, because we
don't think through the actual issue.
And I think the fallout from COVID is going to mostly affect our children and the education of our children. If we don't get our shizzle together, we're going to be in for a world of problem where only certain people who can afford to have them children do certain things are going to make it out of this thing relatively unscathed. And that is not fair. That's not a democratic. We need to have a conversation about that.
It's not even about fairness, because it's going to come back right around to bite the people then who had the opportunity. Because when you have a bunch of people and a whole cohort of people who did not get the requisite opportunities, were not able to think about it or way of getting out of certain social situations has historically been education. If you cut out education and you let the little youth and the little girl who maybe not have it cut out, that means totally, where are their options? And really quickly, I just saw maybe a day or two ago where in Hanover they demolished some stalls and stuff. Now, in the midst of a pandemic, many questions were raised for me. How much notice did these people get? What systems and what else is there for people? Because you're killing a man hustle. I agree. We need law and order. We need organization. We need whatever. But what protection is there for the people?
It's all you wonder sometimes about the decision-making processes behind it, and sometimes I think it's a power trip for a lot of these, especially local government. It's a power trip for them. Me can destroy you, me can mash up your things.
Especially right now when people, so the man instead of sell some fish, he have to come rob me. He have to come grab my bag.
It's problematic, and especially because we don't have very robust art programs, because everybody talking about STEAM. Kingston Creative has been pushing this for so long, and we're not seeing where that's a viable option at the moment. Creative careers. We're still very much traditional minded when it comes to careers. So when we're stunting children in this way, fine, COVID was an issue, no problem. We can completely understand that, but it's been a year. It's been more than a year, and we're still not yet at the point where we're confident that the GOJ really understands the gravity of this thing, or if even if they do understand, have met and come up with a sensible, comprehensive plan. And so we can see our way out. But that's our tech news segment for this morning, guys.
Yes.
We could go on and on about this. It's like we're throwing money at the problem, but not in any way that would actually solve the problem.
Anyway.
Just piecemeal ways, and we do that in every single thing, and then we wonder why these pilot projects and pilot programs don't work. But anyways, guys, so
Talk about it, kid. Talk about it. Yeah.
Have you ever heard this? For all the single people, I'm talking to the single people, Monique, you're not included, right?
Top.
All the single people, have you ever heard, don't look, you shouldn't look. It will happen. That special someone will come your way at some point. In fact, it's when you're not looking that this person tends to happen. It will happen for you. Well, people like me and Philippa can't wait. Right, Philippa? Philippa was tired, okay? And she decided, say, I'm going to create a Google form. I'm going to drop this on Twitter and see what happens, yeah? So in April, that's exactly what she did, and it brought all the boys to the yard, because within hours, she was flooded, amen, with applicants. Welcome to Digital Jamaica. Philippa Wilson, People Joy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. So Philippa, you have to tell me now what possessed you? Create a Google form now. How did that come about? Why did you do this?
I mean, how else are you supposed to find somebody in a pandemic?
Exactly.
I'm trying to find somebody. I'm trying to have a boot up summer. Maybe.
Hopefully. So Philippa, I mean, so you created this Google form. What were you expecting to happen?
Yeah. What were you looking forward to?
Definitely not what actually happened. I was expecting, like, okay, you know how we have a Jamaican Twitter bubble?
Yeah.
I thought, everybody loved gimmicks, I knew it was going to get passed around, jokes, he in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then it took off. Like, it went so much further, got so much more attention than I ever anticipated. I thought, I'd get my handful of guys who maybe were seriously interested. I knew I was going to get gimmicks and trolls and stuff, but almost 700 applicants, you couldn't have paid me to think like.
Okay, Philippa, let me ask you a question. Were you serious when you posted this? Because you talk about gimmicks and fun and whatever. And no, you love the foolishness. You love the foolishness, Philippa. Don't lie. You love the foolishness. Were you serious when you? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think what adds to the attention that I got is a sense of relatability. We've all been locked up for like a year. I haven't been seeing somebody in over a year. I've been ready to date for a couple of months. I mean, I did take my time to be by myself, but I've definitely been ready to date months before I posted the form at all, or before I even conceived the form. It just kind of naturally
happened
together like that.
So what were some of the difficulties you were having in actually finding somebody, dating, meeting people? Because this is what you get all the time. But you're pretty, so you should have. I bet you have to just knocking down your door.
Yeah.
But that's, like, realistically, unless men have an invitation, they're not going to approach. Because I guess realistically, there's a fear of rejection. Everybody fears rejection, but it's gonna happen. It's life. We're gonna get rejected, but you want to avoid it as much as possible. So if I'm not inviting guys to come talk to me, it's very rare that guys are gonna have the confidence to come up and talk to me and try to establish something real. I mean, even not real. Like, obviously, it can be for a good time, not a long time, but unless you give the invitation, unless you're open and they see that you're open, most men don't approach me. Like, you'd be surprised. I think a misconception is people assume a lot of guys are in my DMs. They're not. because I don't put it out there. I know I'm
Yeah.
not like, hey, slide through, and then they come through. Like, I'm like, don't go in my DMs. I know.
Yeah. So, so how have you been sorting through
Yeah.
700 applications? Have you been on any dates? What has been happening since
Yes.
you dropped
Well,
that
I
link?
want the juicy details. I should have get popcorn, Katie. We should have get popcorn.
Well, I have my pen and paper. Right? So come girl, may I write?
Saidah,
Wow.
I actually just finished finalizing my final guys last night. So I have
What's the number? Sorry, how many made it to the final, the
33
short
out,
list?
33 out of 677, 78.
What was the criteria? What was the criteria for
Yeah.
shortlisting?
Well, I mentioned pretty much I mentioned most of it in my thread already, and I'm very big on transparency, and I'm very open to being very transparent throughout this whole process.
Yeah.
For me, the form itself was a massive filter. So I was looking for age. I have a certain age range. I'm comfortable in dating. Cigarette smoking is a deal breaker for me. That's you're not gonna move forward from me if that's part of your lifestyle. Like, I don't knock it, but it's not for me. Attraction is a big thing. So I'm looking at profile pictures, social media. What do you look like? I have things that I'm looking for in a partner that I hope to see through maybe, I mean, obviously as I get to know the guys, I'll see it more. But, if you have pictures of your family and stuff, you're family oriented, that's a big plus for me. Obviously, I'm also aware of catfishes, and I don't want to.
Yeah, man having yatch.
Exactly. Have a real profile.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not gonna go further for me. Like, and I was kind of, it's one of those things. Like, I feel I don't like reject. Like, I don't want anyone to assume that I enjoy rejecting guys. I'm not sitting through and be like, haha, it's a no for me. Nah,
Yeah.
bye.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. There's times when I'm just like, I'm sorry, and it's just
Yeah.
maybe you didn't have any profile picture or anything, so I couldn't see what you
Yeah.
look like, but you had a good form. You seemed thoughtful and sweet and caring, but I'm terrified of being catfish. So if you don't have I kind of had to go ahead
Yeah.
and cancel or eliminate that based on that.
Okay. So now that you've shortlisted them, what's the next step? Are you what's the next step? Because 33 is still a big number. 33 is still a big number.
It is, but it's just honestly, it's surface level at this point. Like, I'm just going off of what I can see from your media presence.
Yeah, yeah.
If you've been thoughtful in your thoughtful, funny, sweet. I mean, different guys have different approaches.
Yeah.
But you left in the form, and that's literally as basic and as surface as it gets. Now it's about the connection. Now, if I don't feel anything, and it's vice versa. Like, don't think I'm sitting here on my high horse and being like, the guys have to go for me. If we talk and they're not feeling me, they have every right to dip out as well.
Yeah,
It's not dictatorship. Like, oh, I'm here, on my throne, kind of, canceling guys and no.
Yeah.
To kind of newer, I guess, newer forms to. I didn't mean to. That was no.
Newer forms, Madam Tisk. I see what you did there.
No.
Okay. So in terms of getting to know them better, will you go on to like some telephone conversations? Will you share like a number and you guys talk first before meeting in person?
I mean, first steps first. I'm gonna DM guys because that was the only means of contacting them. I didn't feel comfortable asking for phone numbers off the bat. I didn't feel comfortable asking for email addresses or even, Google. The forms itself had an option where I could
capture the emails.
Yeah, I could do it limited to one entry per person, but that would have collected their emails, and I didn't feel comfortable having guys in that position. So, I mean, obviously I got duplicates, but the social media the DMs is how I'm going to reach back out, because that's kind of the only way I can. That's the only information I got to get to the guys. Some were bold enough to leave their WhatsApp, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because that picture was cute, girl. I saw the lean, I saw the dress, I saw everything. Like if I was a guy and I was single,
Yeah, so
yes,
I would
snack.
to help a friend out with a social media page. So
Yeah.
it was like brunch vibes, like what I would wear if I was going out for brunch.
Yeah,
You know, looking cute. I
yeah,
for every once in a while. So
yeah. Yes. So
Right. Philippa, one more question before we
yes.
go. Would you recommend other people do this? That's the question. Would you recommend this, and would you actually do this again? If you were to do it over, would you take that same Google form approach?
yeah, I would. And I am in everybody's corner. If anybody wants to try it, I am fully 100% here for it. I completely encourage people to try something new, because really and truly, I'm a big believer in closed mouths don't get fed, right?
Amen.
It's a way for you to customize your dating experience. This is don't think it's my way or the highway. This is not end all be all. I put what was important to me for my first filtering process. If height is important to you, you put that. If occupation is important to you, you put that. If whatever you want, if you don't speak it, you're not gonna get it. You're waiting for the universe to open up. Sure, you might be that in 1 billion, but you have a better chance if you actually put it out there. If you say it, this is what I'm looking for. Those that will more than likely approach you.
Yeah. And I mean, it's obvious, even talking to you people, that you have done some work before this whole process and that you have an idea of what it is that you're actually going for. So what I'm hearing is a lot of intentionality. And despite the gimmicks, despite the fun and the kind of pulling tongue and, there is some seriousness behind it,
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Philippa. It was our pleasure having you on, and we really wish you the best. We hope that you find that special someone through this process. And in any case, it's fun. It's been fun.
Right?
We want to see it.
I want people to know that it's not something that you should be so hard on about it. Like, sorry, I don't know.
The puns keep coming, girl.
Dating is fun, and if you're not having fun with it, I am more on you're setting yourself up for failure. Do it and just see what comes to you. Don't compare your experience to my experience. It's gonna be completely different.
Yeah.
This is for you to cater to yourself, and I'm completely here for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Philippa. It was our pleasure having you, and we will be staying tuned to see what happens. Guys, wow. So, Kadia, you take notes? You take your notes?
Boy, I have notes. Philippa, I'm gonna give you a call, darling, because you need to tell me what are some of the questions you asked. Yes.
Listen, girl, I checked out that form. What you mean?
Listen, it got really lonely for me. And I am somebody who don't like leave my yard. Monique, I don't like leave my yard. So even before COVID, I was having an issue with dating, but since this whole lockdown thing and you're now forced to be inside, there has been times when I've had this overwhelming feeling of absolute loneliness and by myselfness. And this is somebody who has a very close-knit family, but sometimes family and a family kind of closeness, you know what I mean? So it has been a little bit difficult, and we've seen the conversations online. I've been talking to people offline going, how are you? What's going on? And then I saw the people story. It's like, girl, I'm right there with you. I understand.
Yeah.
All right. So we have some other people here. No, that was
Listen.
people and people's experiences.
Yes.
But now we have some experts, some
Yes.
people who have, expert knowledge about certain things as it relates to dating and relationships and getting your mind right and your energy and all that good stuff, right? Because, COVID has collapsed relationships too. It's not just about being single, as in you didn't have a relationship before. It has broken up a lot of marriages, collapsed a lot of long-term relationships. COVID make you know say your bank account not strong and your relationship not strong and your family ties not strong neither, right? So it has caused a lot of upheaval. And here to share their advice with us about relationships and loneliness and love and all that good stuff. We have a really stellar lineup of persons here. First up is Marlon Cooper. Hi, Marlon. Marlon is an energy leadership coach. We also have with us Dr. Sexy.
Yes.
Shelly-Ann Weeks. Shelly-Ann Weeks. Shelly, you do all the things. Shelly
can't listen to the whole of them.
She's an author. She's an advocate for women's reproductive health, and of course, she's a sex educator. Yes, she always tell you the good things. Them.
Yeah, the sexiness.
Yes, and then we have Steffon Campbell, who is the host of a podcast called Men's Truth. And last but not least, we have Kaysha Franklin, who is actually a Mrs. Yes.
Yes.
And Kaysha is actually a professional certified coach. And I think Marlon is also a certified coach. Hi, guys. Welcome to the Digital Jamaica live show. Right? So, guys, we're lonely out here. COVID, and we're lonely. We're not nobody. And we need y'all to tell us what we should do to have good sex, Shelly, Kaysha, how we can get our minds right, Marlon, how we can get our energies right, and Steffon, what men want, what man want.
Before we go further, Kaysha, do you have headphones? I'm hearing a feedback.
I don't. You're hearing it from me?
Yes, because it was good before you joined. Sorry, guys, for the interruption.
That's fine. Marlon, let's start off with you. Let's talk about energy and getting that energy right before you go off meeting people. How does that work?
Yeah.
Marlon, are you muted?
Not hearing your audio, Marlon. Yes, Marlon, unmute yourself, please.
Still not hearing you, Marlon. Is your headphones connected? No, not hearing you at all. All right, Marlon, see if you can sort out the audio thing. I'm not hearing. Make sure that the mic that you're having is the mic that StreamYard
is.
Yeah. If you should look down at the bottom, it should say something that says cam mic. If you click it and click audio, it will tell you which mic you're using. All right. In the meantime, Dr. Saidah, talk to us about these things, having relations during these times.
Well, let me first say thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You're low.
Yes.
You're low, but we can hear you.
It's a sexy voice.
Oh, no, I can talk louder than this. That's so good. Can make it good enough, and the volume can get higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, man, that's good. That's
right
good.
Here says perfect.
Yeah.
You see, when you adjust, you can. So, well, first of all, good morning, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this esteemed panel. A lot of very important people here.
Yes.
Very important this morning. Thank you. So, a lot of relations. A lot of people have a very, very big problem. I don't know if this is a Jamaican problem, but it's a world problem. But I can talk about Jamaican stuff. This is where I live. We live. And because we so live, what happens in an environment like COVID, where you actually have to really spend some time with people now and take off the wig and the eyelash and take out the dentures and take off all of the makeup and scrape off all of the things them that you use. Like, men is not the woman them alone are talking, because I know y'all been getting into skincare and hair things and all of them something there. So someone will lock shut up, but I won't call any name. And we really have to start looking at each other for who we really are. And some of us don't like what we see. So the reason why some of the relationships got really challenged during COVID, on top of the fact that it's an unnatural situation, the truth is they really never liked the situation to begin with. But they don't have all of the bells and whistles anymore to distract them.
The distractions.
There's no thing to do. There's no, okay, well, we can just do the adult activities now and then we just spend time apart until we do the adult activities again when we meet up next time. So we actually are spending real time with each other and we get to see behind the curtain. Now, a lot of things behind the curtain is not so attractive, especially if you weren't in the divorce numbers have rocketed. The flip side is relationships that had something to hold on to actually survived the COVID and got better during COVID. So COVID is a great, or I say great because I think it helps to strip away all of the nonsense, but it's really an environment that forces us to really decide what is important. And that's the case in relationships as well. You have to decide for me to spend this kind of time with this person that I'm no longer interested in, or was it just a hype at the time? I don't look good at it, and a lot of time together. No, we can't survive in this environment. Or are you just going to go your own way, or do you think it's worth staying in this place and encourage you to survive the COVID and you still like each other? So I mean,
Stacey, Shelly-Ann, you kind of chip out just now. But you know, Marlon, Shelly was talking. Shelly said some stuff right there, right? Like it's kind of been a test. It has tested your relationship bonds, and I think that's where the whole making sure that your energies align thing kind of come in. Can you talk to us about that, Marlon? Can you hear us?
I'm not sure if Marlon is hearing us at all. All right,
Okay,
so we're having some problems on that side.
Kaysha,
Yes.
yeah, help us all here. Help us all here because you deal with women and getting them ready for relationships, especially professional women.
Yes.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you see coming up over and over and over again with professional women and finding love and being in relationships?
All right. So one of the things that I find really, I won't say affects professional women, but we see actually in professional women is that they come in with a lot of masculine energy, feeling as though they have to be the ones leading the charge to get into a relationship with somebody. That's fine. I mean, you can't just sit back and be a passive bystander by all means. I mean, we're here to get what we want, and that's what we do as professional women. We get clear, and we know what we want. But by the same token, there must be some sort of to step back and allow a man to woo you. Allow a man to show you who he is without constantly trying to prove and to find and to probe. So when I speak to women, I have four main things I always ask them to do before they get ready to step into love. We have to be super clear about what we want. I think Dr. Sexy as Shelly-Ann said something about the COVID exacerbating the gaps in relationships because a lot of times persons have gotten into relationships without knowing what they wanted. So when now you're home with the person 24 hours a day, things shut down, you can't go out. It's like, who is this person?
Hey.
The person was there all along, but we didn't know them. We didn't take the time to get to know them. Sometimes desperation plays a key. Oh, I'm getting older. My eggs getting dried up. This is 30. You just take any time they can hurry. It's not so it go. You need to know what you want. You need to be able to feel the person's presence so that you hone your intuition and know that's not the person. That's one of the main things. And then we also have to clear our blocks. You see, when you pass 18-year-old stadia and you meet a junk or some person that has done you wrong, you carry the baggage in you. And unless you release that baggage, every next person that comes along the way gets frightened at that. It could be the best. So it's like you hold on to the hurt, the bitterness, the pain, the everything. So I asked him to clear the energetic blocks, and I guess Marlon can share a little bit more about that. Are you seeing me? Oh, awesome.
Yes,
Marlon
yes,
can share a
yes.
little bit about clearing your energetic blocks, because trust me, if you have blocks to love, love not coming to love is going to run away. And then the other thing I say to them is to get confidence in your voice. You'll be surprised how assertive professional women are in the boardroom, but how submissive and incapable of actually speaking about what they want when it comes to relationships. You just wait and see. You don't want to ask because you don't want to offset the next person. You need to get clear, and then we need to practice radical self-love. So those are some of the things that I really like to share in these space when persons are seeking love, and ask them to really pay attention to those things so you don't end up with somebody in COVID period that you don't know who you're married to. You know?
All right, Marlon, are you good?
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Woo.
Finally, we're here. Marlon, talk to us about, making sure that whether you're meeting the person online or offline, that there's your energies match. Because Kaysha just talked about women coming in, especially professional women, with this masculine energy, wanting to control everything and direct everything. What do you say about that or to that?
Yeah. Well, specifically, what we call type A women who are used to being in charge, used to leading, used to having things go their way. Those are women. I coach some of those women, and they find it very challenging to express themselves in relationships, because the things that work in work are not the things that work in relationships. And the men that you're into, the way that you interact with a man, especially, comes up with a lot of different challenges that you have to work through. My professional coaching around this is around energy, and for me, what that means is that you have an awareness of what your energy is, and you have awareness of whether your energy is being constructive and creative, or whether your energy is being destructive and leading towards conflict or towards the kind of apathy that Kaysha mentioned a while ago. And I've actually seen it in conversations with a lot of women, some of the most assertive, strong-willed, out there women that you would say, okay, these women are bossing it everywhere, where there are a few places that energy shows up completely differently, and there isn't that opportunity for them to really enjoy and experience the type of relationships that they want to enjoy and experience. This is kind of what I'm saying.
Do you think so? If you take a story like Philippa's, right, where Philippa was like, listen,
I'm
what
tired.
you want me to do? Fine. I want to be the woman in the relationship, sure, but if I don't talk to a man is not going to willingly come and talk to me. So I have to broach the conversation, which is
He's not
why,
gonna appear in my bedroom, especially since
yeah,
we're
and
locked up and
not just that.
quarantine, and
They're not going to want to approach her to have a
yeah,
conversation with
or
her
even know that
unless
she's ready for open for a
she
relationship.
initiates, right? Steffon, what is your response to that, as a
Perspective.
man and as the host of the Men's Truth podcast? Because I'm
What's the
confused as
truth?
to what the hell it is that men want. But for somebody like Philippa, what do you think of her approach, where she's the one to go,
Open the
Simia,
door.
hello, come talk to me?
Well,
She attracted with honey still.
I think if I had to start by, you're hearing me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right, good. If so, the podcast, some history. The podcast came out of PhD research, essentially saying that men need to reclaim their voices, because you realize that there's a difference between what a man believes and what a man tells a woman, because she wants to think that he believes what she believes. So that's why there's a truth and there's a men's truth, and there are some spaces where men speak the truth, and when the woman asks for the truth, is something else. And so it's a lot to dissect and a lot to break down. But there are some simple things that men want, but because they are afraid that they're going to lose it all, they don't want to say certain things. So, for example, if a man says he wants peace and the woman assumes that what he wants is silence, then that becomes an issue. Peace doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to talk or you're not going to disagree with me. Peace simply means that there isn't you're giving me a fair chance to have a conversation about certain things, or to say my side without you saying, how dare you believe that, or why do you think that, and all of those things. There's a difference between asking a rhetorical question and asking
To
actually wanting
understand. Yes.
a fair response, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some men who prefer to be laid back and to let a woman lead in some spaces, some contexts. And again,
Mm-hmm.
my research is in sexual communication, looking at how sex informs all the things that we talk about. Sex isn't everything, but almost everything is about sex, right? And that translates into the online space as well. And so there is a lot of things, there are a lot of spaces that we need to be comfortable and safe enough, and this is what I'm telling men, to find out
Mm.
what you want before you approach a woman, and be confident to say, this is what I want, even considering the fear, because men are trained as hunters, or if you don't win, you lose. Second is just coming, is just the first to come last, right? So if I lose this woman, there's the potential that I might lose this status among my friends. So if me I look this woman and she don't want me no more, yeah, might get teased and all of those things. So it's really about deconstructing some of these things and say, it's okay for a woman not to want you, sir. It's okay. It doesn't reduce your status as a man. I want this. If she does not want that as well, we can go our separate ways. And that's why I love the online space, because we don't have time to waste. We have wasted a lot of times pre-COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about how much time you actually spent with your significant other before COVID, you probably spend 1 to 2 hours tops. You come home from work 8 o'clock, right? She come home from work the same time. You're gonna probably spend a couple of hours watching Netflix, so that's not quality time. You go bed for wake up early in the morning, you go your separate ways. You spend the most of your day at work. You're not building any sensible relationship. You're having a roommate. So COVID has forced people to decide if they want to continue to be roommates or they want to actually build a relationship. And all of those things, I think social media allows you to get straight to the point. Now, catfishing is a big thing, but that's why it's even more important to be honest with yourself first, not in relation to the other person. So that's my take.
Ooh.
Okay, guys.
Roommate or relationship. Whoa.
Roommate.
Whoa.
I know Shelly has a very interesting story about, because Shelly, you live by yourself. You live alone, but you do have, would you call it a partner? A partner situation, or what you call maybe a visiting situation? How does that work for you? How do you make that work for you? Not hearing you clearly, Shelly.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I really value my independence and my space. So I have this conversation in my head all the time about what would it look like when I finally cohabitate with somebody. And it is something that I still don't know. I think I'm gonna need to have my own room or something. I don't know. We may need to be roommates and kind of meet up in the hallway or something. I really value my own space, and men are messy. They do things that just annoy me. Even my partner does it, like, but he makes adjustments when I go over his house or if he comes to my house. So that dynamic really works for me, and I don't see me changing it anytime soon. But COVID has made it more fun, because now when we meet up, we turn it into extra things, because we don't have all of the bells and whistles that we spoke about earlier, when we could get to go out, go drink and go events and all of these kind of things. So the other night, he loves to watch movies, so he pick out 3 movies, and because I always drop asleep on him when we're watching the movies, me make a promise that me not go drop asleep. So me make sure so me sleep before, and me eye them wide open, and me make sure so me sleep. I made it through 2 movies. I drop asleep on the 3rd one, but I tried. And the thing about it is that, we do that, and then it was all movie nights, and him do a whole setup and all of that for movie night. And just last week was my birthday, and we went to a resort out of town, and he completely took himself out of his comfort zone and catered to me the entire time, which was very
Ooh.
for him. But because he made such an effort, it was a really, really big deal for me. So,
Yeah.
we do things like that. And then after it done, me got my yard and him got his yard, and we and we video chat, and we have sexy shows on the video chat, and all of them things. All of
Yes.
the stuff, all the world. So
And you know, I'm glad you talked about, you know, your sexy video chats, because you know, sometimes again social distancing, so you can't necessarily
Be in
spend
a
as much time
physical
with the person,
space.
and there's curfew situations and etc. So you can use online tools, digital tools, to keep the spice in the relationship, keep that sexiness going. But all right, so all I know are people first say we are talking, we need to tell the single people them something. We need to tell the single people them something, because what if we come here today, I'm gonna tell you honest truth, I wanted to do show because I wanted to give me advice. Okay, so what about Marlon? What about the advice to the single people that align with chakra or whatever, and make sure say, right,
It's not
our mind
chakra.
is right,
It's
our
knowing your
energy is
energy.
right,
Yeah.
and how do we know when
How
we're
you're showing
meeting
up.
somebody else whose energy actually aligns with us? How do we recognize that, Marlon?
Yeah.
well, what I would say is
Hold
also
on, Shelly. Just a second. Marlon.
Yeah, sorry, I muted myself. From an energetic perspective, it really is about understanding your energy first, not so much
Yes.
alignment of your energy
The
with
other
someone else's
person.
energy, but it's really about understanding your energy first. Your energy can present itself in two ways, and it can present itself in a way that is constructive, that's creative, that's helping you to build something,
Mm-hmm.
or it can present itself in a way that's destructive, that's helping you to tear something down. And
Okay.
neither one is good or bad. So it's not that destructive energy is bad and constructive energy is good, but it's a matter now of what is it that you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to create connection, you're trying to create relationship, you're trying to create an experience with someone, but you're showing up with energy that's destructive, then that's not going to happen. So it's really about being aware of what your energy is and connecting that to what you're trying to accomplish, connecting to your passion, to your purpose, to what you're trying to do. And
Before you move on, what's an example of this constructive energy and the destructive energy?
it's okay. It's different situations. So there are many different emotional things that you go through. I can give an example for myself.
Yes, please.
One of the habits that I picked up, a negative habit that I picked up, is something that's called stonewalling. And what that does is that
Man, nobody throwing us stone over here,
No,
say no. Nobody
I-
throwing a stone over here, so.
actually it's the opposite. You put up a wall to prevent yourself.
That's
from
exactly
getting-
what I'm saying.
from getting
Nobody
hit by
throw
anything. So
stone over here.
it's a common male defensive mechanism as well. So you're in a situation with a woman and you realize that it's going a particular way that you don't want it to go and you don't want it to escalate. And so you just cut off, shut down.
Oh, yeah, man.
I mean, build
Yeah,
four
man.
walls around and one on top.
And not
Nothing
just
can get
male
in.
here.
So she says to you, but men do it more than women. Men do it about 85% of the time. So she says to you, what's happening? You're like, I'm okay. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I'm fine. It's just complete disconnection, disengagement, right? So in a situation where you're out together, you're trying, or you're having the sexy call with Dr. Sexy, right? And something happens that triggers that. And he starts to react that particular way. Immediately, the sexy call mash up because her energy is over there, so your energy is over there, so and you get trapped in that, and you can't release yourself out of it. So it's about understanding what it is that you're trying to accomplish, understanding where your energy is at right now, coming to conscious awareness of it, and being able to shift if it is that you want to shift at that point in time.
Okay, awesome. Kaysha, what would you say in terms of giving advice to us single people? Because let me, and I'll give an example of what happens to me. I'll meet somebody, we'll have a conversation. It is super interesting and super engaging, but then what ends up happening for me is that what this person say they want is antithetical to their actions. So their action says something different than what they actually say
The words
they want. And I'm confused as to how do I navigate this, because then you're stuck between not wanting to be too pushy and forceful because you met this person maybe on Tinder. Okay, don't judge me. All right, you're having these conversations. You're having these conversations, and you're realizing that things you don't want to be too forceful. You don't want to be too pushy. You want to be girly and feminine, but at the same time, you want to cut through the bullshit and get to the point, so I can know if this is something I'll be interested in the long term, and that I'm not wasting my time. What do I do?
All right, there are two things. I'm going to just say something before that, Katie. There are two things I always say to women. When you are getting ready for love, you need to know two things. You need to know what you seek is seeking you. And I'm going to tie this to the point you're making. And you have to know that love comes to those who believe it. First two things. So in that way, you have to trust that when you go on bleak dating, say whatever that is, that the person that you're looking for is there as well. And he's not going to be intimidated by you asking clear and direct questions. That's the thing. And women do what you do all the time. We don't ask clear questions. When we get the fuzz, we kind of go through it. No, call somebody out on it, but not in a bombastic way. Generally curious. But Dawn, I was trying to find out XYZ and noticed that you didn't share around that. Can you just tap back there and tell me a bit about it? And if somebody's being shady, Katie, if somebody's actions is not aligning to the words, that's a huge red flag. If you're asking somebody a question all the time and they're not willing to answer, that's a huge red flag. So don't be afraid to, in a feminine way, in a loving way, really be assertive about wanting to find out certain things. Because as you said, we don't have time to play. We're not 16 years old. We don't have time to spend 5 months or 6 months realizing that someone is not the one. So you have to know that who you seek is also seeking you. He's going to be upfront. He's going to be clear. He's going to honor what you honor. He's going to respect you. And he is going to be willing to love you in the way that you want to be loved. And if that means that you don't want any questions, when you meet upon this person, the person shade, you're like, this person is not a match to me. And it comes just from deeply knowing that that person is there. So if you genuinely believe that, Kadia, you don't have to sit back and go through the nonsense.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Steffon, when do you know, after you meet this person online and you're having these amazing conversations and you know you're up till 2:00 in the morning because you just don't want to hang up, right? When do you know it's a good time to meet the person? When do you know it's a good time to take it from WhatsApp to a little meeting somewhere? How do you know that you are at that point where you are ready to meet this person from a man's perspective to a woman? What would you tell a woman to look out for to know when it's a good time to actually meet this man in person?
That one is a juicy question because because all of the things you mentioned before a while ago, all the staying up till 2:00 in the morning and all of the nice conversations, none of that matters. Men are very good at putting on a show for a certain window. So it's actually good if you are able to have some access or exposure to the environment that he's in. Or I don't think there should be a limit or how soon or how late that you actually plan to meet the person physically. It's just where you meet the person physically. I won't recommend meeting somebody online and going over to their place in a week. That doesn't make sense. But seeing how people treat other people in a physical space, in a social space, that tells you a lot more about the man or the woman than what they can tell you directly on FaceTime and in messages. You know, than that, and after that, then you can decide if it's something you want to pursue or don't want to pursue. But the issue is in a dating window or the romanticized window, we ignore the red flags or we look at it as cute. Jealous, possessive, that's cute. That means he really wants me. Absolutely not. These are things that we oftentimes ignore to our detriment. So if it sends off a red flag, pay attention to it. It is your intuition telling you that you need to step away, and you can do it in a very respectful way and just leave that situation as it is.
I completely agree with you, because even while you're online and you're having these conversations, whether on WhatsApp or whatever, as Kaysha said, as Steffon said, red flags are coming up. You certain things tingling in the back of your mind. You're going, but through you're lonely and thirsty,
Yes,
You
yes,
now pay
yes,
attention to the
yes,
red flag then.
yes,
And then
yes.
no, you find yourself in a problems, right? Don't make thirstiness
And then you blame the other person.
lead to heartache and pain. Yes.
And then you
And
blame
you
the other
know,
You
it
person.
know.
goes it goes a little further than thirstiness too, because there is a since we've been little girls, we've been taught to desire and to want certain things. And little boys don't get taught the same things.
Can I?
Girls get read Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, and the boy going kiss and wake you up, and your marriage is happily ever after, and that is bliss.
What, Moni, can I jump? Can I jump in
Yeah,
and say
yeah, man,
one
jump
thing?
in,
One
jump
thing.
in.
I'm glad
Yeah,
that you said that,
yeah.
because oftentimes the type of man that a woman is attracted to is a well-oiled machine in getting women. Right? So you want the charismatic person. You want the man that says exactly what you want to hear. Oftentimes, these are the same men that won't stick around because it is so easy to get another one. Which means
Yes,
you need
doctor.
to,
Yes, Shelly-Ann
yes,
ears are
which means
prick up.
I'm telling you, which means that's why it's good to get beneath the surface. And I love what Kaysha said. Find a way to go behind the walls, because we know the stage, we know the game. But there are some questions when you ask, it breaks down those walls, and we have no choice but to give you an honest enough
Questions like
answer,
what? Because
right?
questions like what? Because that questions like what? What kind of
And
question?
okay. Now how do I strike? How do I strike this balance now? A question like,
Because Shelly, I look for you.
yes,
Shelly, I side
a
I
question,
Steffon.
a question like, so tell me about yourself. Basic question. We know the answers to that. We know what you want to hear. You want to hear ambition. You want to hear that, I just had a new LLC. You want to hear that I love children so much. All of these things might be true. Might be true. All of
Kaysha,
these,
why
but
you laughing?
right? But all
Maybe
of
or
these
maybe
things.
not. Some people don't want to have kids.
No, but I like children is a very, very general statement, right? Saying I like children and saying
Don't
I
mean I
want
like to
children,
have children with you. Oh yeah,
all of
man,
this,
the
right?
half truths and sitting in between, because yes,
This
I
is
want to get married. Yes, I
Shelly,
like
you look
this.
like
Yes, I like that. No,
this
Shelly, you look like
and,
you're out to burst.
and,
What you want
and
to
this
say?
and this is where and this and this is where the reason I mentioned that is, and because Monique mentioned the fairy tale thing, because
Yeah.
oftentimes we ignore the red flags because the fairy tale elements are present. The
the
most
hope,
charismatic
the
people are
hope
oftentimes
for
the
the
most
fairy tale.
narcissistic people, right? The most charismatic people are oftentimes the most narcissistic people. Are you able to take that narcissism plus the other things and build a relationship? If you want to do that, so be it. But then you have all of these psycho evaluations that you can take and decide actively whether you want to do this or not. But don't say, but don't do it for the gram. This person is attractive. This person is charismatic. This person tells me
They
what I
check the
need to hear.
boxes.
But behind the scenes, this person makes you feel alone. This person degrades you and all of these things. I don't think anybody deserves that. Yes, Shelly-Ann, tell me what you
All
have to
right,
say.
all right,
Shelly, your head
sexy.
about to fall
Yes,
off.
sexy. Yes, sexy. Come,
Shelly, your
come.
head about to fall off over there. What are you saying?
I just I will not be held responsible for the bad behavior of men. I don't understand why we have to make all of these adjustments because they're dishonest. We
No,
need,
I never said that, you know.
I
I
will
never
like,
said that. I,
I sit
I
down and
never
listen to
said that. I
facts,
never said that.
charisma. No,
Hmm.
the man is charismatic and all of those things that you just said, and his intent is to come out and deceive you. How can I be the one who needs to defend against his deception? Why aren't we turning the left foot to kill
Blame.
the face? Stop doing that.
So
Stop telling
listen,
men lies.
how
Stop
did I
being
start this session? How did I start
Can
this
I
session? I
want to share
started it
something.
saying, I
Shelly,
started
we're
saying
not
that
hearing
we're
you
talking to men,
properly.
you know. I started saying we talk to men, you know. So it's only because that part was mentioned. So I'm giving some warning, some suggestions to women. But
Oh,
my primary role is
What
to the
to
men.
say?
My primary role is to the men.
Shelly, we're not hearing you clearly. Not
I
hearing you
wanna
clearly,
share.
Shelly.
We're not
Not
hearing you.
hearing you clearly, Shelly-Ann.
You can't hear me?
We're hearing you now.
Come again. Go on, Shelly, and then
I
Kaysha
want
will come in.
Okay.
I was just saying that
Yes.
whenever things happen to women, and this is just in these sort of situations, the warning is always to the woman who is the victim of this lying, wicked man. Now, if we want to make a difference in how we relate to each other, we have to have the person who's bringing the problem to the
Responsible.
hold that person responsible and now tell them that they need to change their behavior. Now we have households that are raising boys that they would not approve of if the girls carry them home. We have to fix that.
Agreed.
We cannot
Agreed.
say that this is the game and this is men and therefore we have to. Why can't we believe a man when he says he's interested in us? Why we have to walk around
No. It's not saying that, you know. It's not saying
Marlon, I think you need to respect Steffon.
Steffon is
that we want. Why is it nice?
Hold on.
Marlon, rescue Steffon.
Hold on. Kaysha. Yeah, man. Say what you want to say and then Marlon jump.
Yes. Let me say, and in fact, it may actually go against what Dr. Shelly is saying, and in terms, it may seem like I'm more on the man side. So, Dr. Shelly, if you're ready for me, you're ready for me. But hear what I have to say. I think as women, we have to set the stage for truth. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Sometimes we're going so attached, so needy, so we already have this outcome that he's going to be my husband. We do not set the stage for truth. And it allows men to tell us these bullshit stories that Steffon is saying. If we start approaching dating curious, I heard people talk about it earlier, and I loved when she said that. Absolutely open and detached from the outcome, we set the stage for truth. When I was dating my husband, I tell you, I let him know he can tell me the truth. I'm not looking for no nonsense story. He can love me from now to evermore. And I find, and I'm curious to hear what Dr. Shelly was saying, this response. I feel as though too many times as women, we create this environment where men feel as though they have a real right playground to tell us all kinds of stories because we haven't made it clear that it's okay to just let me know the truth, whether verbally or non-verbally. And I know that may be a controversial statement, but I genuinely feel very strongly about it. I would love to hear from the men as well as Dr. Shelly on that.
Marlon.
All right, Marlon, jump in. What do you say?
I wanted to talk about me because Kadia brought this up, right? And Kadia was exhibiting two things, right? Kadia was talking about thirst, and she was also talking about wanting to be in a serious relationship, right? And so for me, it is a matter of you being clear about what your objective is. If your objective is about satisfying thirst, then I say go for it with all intention and clarity and purpose, and be very clear about what you're doing. If your objective is to have a long-term relationship, do the same thing, right? Remember, it's very challenging for you to establish relationship with a man. If you start off with thirst and try to get into attachment, that might be a particular challenge for you.
If you lead with sex, then you're saying if you lead with that, then it's hard to transition to.
It may be harder for you to transition that out of that into something else. So I'm saying be true to what your intention is and be very clear about it. And I want to reinforce something that Kaysha said as well. Attachment to outcome is very, very important. If this is something that's fun for you, it's an exploration, it's something that you want to enjoy doing. Because there's a lot of judgment in a way. You talk about thirst, there's a lot of judgment around women around that, right? And I don't have any of those judgments. I know that women are equally as sexually aggressive as men, if not more in some cases, right? I don't have any illusions about that. And I don't have any judgments on women who are seeking that. But I'm saying to you is don't get your wires crossed. If that's what you're seeking and that's what your intention is, be clear, be specific, go for it. Do it in your feminine way. You're not gonna go out there and just say I'm thirsty. I mean, that's not what you do.
I'm
But you're gonna
thirsty.
you're gonna do it in your very feminine way, and you're going to attract to you men who are similarly thirsty. Right?
And you know, in this way, this is some of the benefits of starting off online, because there's that barrier, there's that technological barrier between you and that person. You're using WhatsApp, you can keep it right there until you're comfortable enough to
We
move
take
into
your
another
next step.
space. But we got a comment from our girl Stacy. Hi Stacy. And Stacy says, I have single girlfriends who stopped seeking companionship because they became extremely saddened by the impact of being alone in the pandemic. How can they shift this and get back in the game? Who wants to
Take
answer
that
that
one.
question? You're lonely. The pandemic has made it even worse. How do you shift that
Shift your
mindset
gears.
and get yourself back into the game? What are some of the things that they can do? Anybody wants to take that?
Repeat the question.
The question was,
Curiosity.
how do you
Curiosity, Katie.
get back? How do you get past loneliness and get your mind right so you can get back in the dating game?
Don't approach it like that. Just work on being the best you, and then when you're ready to meet some new people, then meet some new people. You don't have to meet them for the purpose of dating. I don't believe in this going after dating as if you're trying to get a new job and you're interviewing every man you come across and everything to fail, and is he this and does he get to all of the things that I'm looking for. And I think it should be more of a just get more, it's a numbers game. Meet more people, see how you gel, have conversations, spend time with them. You're going to eliminate some of them. You're going to do, and just see what
Right?
feels good. Widen your network, and you might meet somebody 4 degrees down before you actually meet somebody you want to spend time with. But I don't think you should have started from a space of, okay, so I am on a man hunt. There's a man. Stay open, stay authentic. And I believe authenticity is probably our most powerful tool, because authenticity will attract people, it will also repel people. And some of the people that you repel is in your best interest, because they weren't going to bring anything good to your life anyway.
And that's true for whether you meet them online or whether you meet them offline. It's very important that you remain authentic, because some of these online profiles, you read them and some of these speak the fairy tales we tell. All of a sudden you move from, so you're a janitor and then you change
sanitation consultant,
right?
Talk to me nice.
Might as well you stay honest and don't catfish people.
Or when you say you work at JPS, but
What would you recommend dating sites though? Do you think that's a healthy way to go about meeting people? What do you think
doing
about
that numbers game
dating spaces? Anybody?
I just want to say something about the question that you asked before. When Shelly was talking, I was saying it's an exploration. And it's something that you can have fun with. When we talk about being attached to the outcome, that's what we mean,
Right.
You know that if you're out there and you're looking just to explore, what's it like to spend some time with a guy that look like Steffon, who has a thought processes that Steffon has? What's it like to spend some time with a guy that look like Marlon, who has the thought processes that Marlon has, just from the purpose of having the experience of it and being very open and curious and learning. It's just an exploration. It's an expedition that you're on, right? There is no end game to it, right? If that's what you're doing, then you're going to go out, you're going to have a certain energy about you that's going to say, hey, I'm open, I'm relaxed, I'm not desperate, I don't have a time limit attached to anything that I'm doing. I'm just meeting people, I'm talking to people. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I'm not into that, but that's okay. That's something new that I've discovered about you, about myself. And you're learning, and in that space of attracting and creating, that energy will pull people into your space, right? But the question that Stacey asked, there's a kind of energy around it. You know, I'm alone. I don't like what's happening. I've withdrawn myself. I know I'm trying to re-engage. Before you re-engage, I would encourage you to do some work on yourself. Shift from that space that you're in to shift into a space that's going to create more openness, so that when you go out into the space, that's where you attract for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So about the online dating thing, would you guys recommend online dating platforms, especially if like even towards Stacey's question, maybe that's an option for them. They can start out that way. It's slower, you know, you meet a couple people, you have a couple conversations, get yourself back in the game, and then see where that goes. What are your takes on online dating using certain dating platforms? In Jamaica, because I find like with most things with digital, I don't think we're using these online sites, right? But that's just me. What do you guys think about online dating platforms? Kaysha, Steffon?
I like it. I think it is awesome. Yeah, I think you should go on all the sites that interest you and make a profile and meet all the people and just have fun with it. You don't have to take it all. Have fun with it. I mean, you're gonna have to weed through some stuff, you know, before you find anything worthwhile. But that's a part of the fun. That's a part of the process. There's something very important about being able to swipe away somebody you're not interested in and just stop talk to them if you don't like them again. So I think you should just explore it as another way to meet more people, and you get to a point where you might come across somebody who's not in Jamaica, who you and them click and don't like the same weird things and not the same weird sense of humor. I know so many people who are in now because they started out with online dating. So I mean, everything has its risks and it's not for everybody, but it's something that has worked for a lot of people, and it possibly can work for you too. Just explore it and go in with your eyes open. You're not going to find everything that you're looking for the first day. You're probably going to have to reject a lot of things and start over a couple of times, but that's a part of the process.
Yeah. Kaysha?
Yeah, I think it presents a unique and wonderful opportunity to meet more people. You know, at the end of the game, online dating or offline dating, I think the principles remain the same, to be honest. When you go in there knowing what you're looking for, when you're going in there unblocked and ready and open and curious. I kept on hearing the word curious, and to me, I can't stress curiosity enough. Like, everyone talks about curiosity. You're not going in there, oh my goodness, if I don't land my husband in 10 minutes, 25 seconds, and 15 microseconds, they're going to jump off. No, it's like you're playful, you're curious. They're like, what if I found my husband today? How would I show up? You know, what if my perfect extra special man was on this platform in 15 minutes? How would I show up? So if the question that Stacey was asking, I would say to your girlfriends to let them ask the question, what if this pandemic provided an amazing opportunity for me to really meet my husband? What would I do then? So I think online dating is fantastic. Granted, I had a very terrible online dating experience where this man showed me his private parts and I was like mortified.
Oh my God, the dick pics. Yes, the dick pics. The dick pics. Yes, we've gotten those.
Unsolicited.
The unsolicited. We've got those, and we've got the hi, good morning,
right?
babes, cutie.
Yes,
that's
Marlon.
all the conversation that happens. That's it. Don't go no further than that.
Marlon says some of those are catfish too, because them Zoom and go round and angle and corner. To show you
Yes,
we have to check it out.
Okay, if you went into that situation and you were open and curious and you were exploring and you're having fun, and then you open your message and there's a catfish dick pic. I mean, have a good laugh about it. And what does it tell you? This is number one.
And delete. Block and delete.
Move on.
Yeah.
My block finger is always ready.
That's it. It doesn't mean give up. It doesn't mean whatever. It means that.
It doesn't mean anything is wrong with you.
It doesn't mean anything
is wrong with you, Marlon, that all men are bad. You know, don't mean all men are bad. This is why I don't like this dating game, this dating. Yeah, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean any of that. You know?
But very clearly, depending on what you want, that says to you, okay, I'm going to go check that out, or nah. And that's it. That's all it does. It gives you a choice point based on what you want to do. and you don't need to put anything else on
And
it.
that's you collecting more data that will inform the decision you're going to make about that person. So, you know, you take it with a grain of salt, and you know you're going to have the weirdos
Now,
out
if
there.
the next
You know.
6 that you run into on that site are the same thing, I would say try a different one.
Yeah,
Try
delete
different.
that. Delete your account on that side.
Yes,
That's just my
yes.
yeah. Which and they are so
Steffon, what do you
different.
think? What do you, from a men's perspective, what are you guys thinking when you're going on these dating sites? What's going on in your head?
First things first. We're working with a group of men now because what the pandemic has illuminated is that pandemic has caused men to ponder even more, and it's something I absolutely hate. Because I think every man should feel like he is the prize as much as he treats the woman as the prize. You do have value as a man. So you don't need to tell the woman everything she wants to hear to your own detriment. So again, I like what Marlon said. I love what Shelly-Ann said and what Kaysha said. You should be able to go on these sites and enjoy yourself just as much as the women, right? You're not going there to court and attract and to seek every woman's approval, right? If you're going there to enjoy yourself, and women know when a man really enjoys himself or when he is really himself, and it's attractive. It's one of the most attractive things when you are confident in yourself. Even if she disagree with him, or she
friend zone you. Yeah.
Exactly. But the energy is of utmost importance, right? So you don't need no man no need for catfish or dogfish or whatever kind of fish on social media. Just enjoy it. If you are a janitor, say janitor. If you want to call it a sanitation engineer, say that. But whatever it is, you need to be comfortable with who you are and where you are. If you're not, I don't think you're in a space yet to put that burden on someone else. I think every man, and I'm talking to the men specifically, because there is a higher price pace, a higher burden placed on if you can't get no woman, especially among us as communities of men. You're not jealous. You can't get no woman. How you not get no woman? And that starts from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are some of the burdens that we need to shed, right? Be yourself. If you choose to want to wait to find the one, nothing is wrong with that. It doesn't go against your masculinity. If you want to date and have as many sexual experiences as possible, nothing is wrong with that. If you are honest about it, if you're not trying to trick a woman into it, right? And then destroy someone, right? So that's what I was saying before. That's it. Every person needs to be authentic, but primarily as a man, and as a man who has struggled with low self-esteem for the first part of his life, and coming out of that, it is okay to feel good about yourself, for yourself and by yourself. If you enter into a relationship after that, that is only a plus, but that doesn't define you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here with us. We really appreciate it. But Kaysha,
I don't want it to end.
I know Kaysha, have a giveaway for the lonely women. And it is your program for men as well, Kaysha?
I guess it could be, but everything I do really centers around women.
Okay, so Kaysha has a giveaway for some of us lonely hearts here. What is it, Kaysha?
Katie, first of all, let me correct you. I don't have no giveaway for no lonely hearts, because every woman that's on this is an empowered woman getting ready to make amazing strides in her relationships, to self-introspect and to really understand what's blocking her and to catapult into love. So let me just clarify that. So what I wanted to share is I have a 30-day guided love journey, because I genuinely believe that we are our biggest blocks and barriers to love. And once we get clear on what's blocking us, we literally just collapse the vortex and go into love. So the 30-day guided love journey, and for those who are really wondering what's stopping me from really stepping into the next most amazing phase and space of my love life, I'm going to say it's all about looking within you. So follow both platforms and send me a DM and say to me, Kaysha, this is what's going on with me. I'd love to know what's my next step. And for the persons who I find most compelling, I'll share my 30-day guided love journey. It's 30 journal prompts, 30 accompanying audios, and it really helps you to shift energetically very, very, very quickly and help you to move into love more easily, effortlessly, and quickly. It's like you magnetize love. So that's the giveaway for persons.
Okay,
it's a membership
so Kaysha,
site.
where should they go? Where should they go to send you that message?
Okay, that's Instagram, and my handle is Kaysha Franklin Coaching. Kaysha Franklin Coaching. Just send me a DM. We'll have a conversation. And it's really a game changer for that woman who's been struggling for a little while. I'm not going to call you lonely. You just need some tips, tricks, techniques, and
Some
some
help.
shifts. And I have that for
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
It's-
Yes,
All right
yes.
then.
Shift the
All right then.
conversation and the
So
perspective.
it's not necessarily if you are lonely and pining and thirsty, but it's for anybody who's ready to get their minds right and get into. Listen, I am talking about myself. Don't worry about it. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because Kaysha,
It was
I'm
an
gonna change the
amazing
name and slide now your
conversation.
names and see if
You
we can
never
get a
change no
free.
name. Just
A
slide.
free
Just
30
slide.
day program. Fast to say rough over here. Thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
It's been a
you.
pleasure having you
Absolutely.
all on. That was
Bye.
an amazing
Oh my
conversation.
God.
Amazing
Listen, I'm ready to
conversation.
go for another 2 hours, Like, true, you don't know. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
but we do have a special feature with
Yes.
date night, and we have date night boss Saidah Dennis. Hi, Saidah.
Hi.
Are you hearing us?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Okay,
we can
great.
barely hear you though. You're low, Saidah.
I'm low. You
Yeah,
hear
you're a
me
Yeah.
little bit
better
low.
now? I'm not
Say
sure.
something else. All
Are
right,
you
so
hearing me now?
Saidah is the no, you have a headphone, Saidah, because we're not hearing you very clearly. All right, but while Saidah goes to get her headphone, now Saidah is the founder of Date Night Jamaica.
Yes.
Let me see if I can bring up
They have some
the
amazing curated experiences for
yes,
persons who want to go out on dates
yes.
and to have a little special something. So, you might have imagined that lovely romantic picnic, but it doesn't have to look like, it doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be all and cold. She
Yes.
creates these special experiences with things to make you feel a little fuzzy inside with
Yes.
roses and snacks, and even if you're not the
Hello?
type put to put all of the things together, we're hearing you now. That she can make that happen for you.
Great.
So
So Saidah,
yes.
talk to us about Date Night JM. How did this come about? Why did you create this business?
Okay, so it really started out from me. Really just hate seeing men or the person inviting somebody else out on the date, showing up with their two long hands, just to await the movie that they're gonna watch or the food at the restaurant, anything along that line. It was just so boring, and I was like, no man, something needs to happen, some effort needs to be there, and I think that roses will add that to them, so I just tried to offer that in the market.
Okay. So you wanted to spice up
Mm-hmm.
dating, no boring thing. You wanted to make it interesting for persons. What has the reception been like with your business? What have people been saying about it?
Okay, so the reception has been amazing, mainly because of the concept of the business, of
Yeah.
adding effort or enhancing the date night. Recently, we added the picnic setup service to our business. As you can see there, where we offer different picnic arrangements, and the names of the packages reflect the different stages of the relationship. For example, we have a puppy
Excuse
love
me.
package for couples just starting up. So we have a puppy love package, as I said, just for couples that just starting out, just getting to know each other. Then we have the sweethearts package for a more seasoned couple. You guys been together for a while. And then we have the Mr. and Mrs. now, which is kind of self-explanatory. It doesn't necessarily mean a married couple per se, but it's for a well-seasoned couple. You guys are looking for marriage. You guys have been together for a good little time. You guys can indulge in that package.
Okay. So talk to the popular people. Them. So you met somebody online. You're excited. You guys planning your first date. Because we have to do
Right.
dating during daytime these days, cause curfew. You want to have
Yeah.
a nice
Perfect.
little
Right.
picnic,
Perfect
a
for
nice little
picnic.
setup.
Right.
What would you recommend, Saidah?
Is that setup for
As a
that first
setup.
date?
Yeah, because you want, first impressions, you want not the
Last.
first date or the park, want something
Right.
different, something cute. What would you
Right.
recommend?
Okay, so the popular package includes strawberries, strawberry after in there.
Mm.
Strawberries,
Mm-hmm.
grapes, pineapples, apples, a wide variety of fruits. You get some snacks, some cookies, and you get your choice of champagne or wine.
What
Simple, you guys.
Holy.
Yeah, man. So you have a little setup, and therefore sometimes we have music as well, just to set the tone, or a little question and answer, a little like a first date question that type of thing you can ask your partner and so forth. So you guys can. It's not that awkward on the first date, if you understand.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay,
I
and
love
you
to
can
see
and
it.
you can make that happen for them, right?
Definitely, definitely. I've
So,
also
so
had proposals as well. A little,
mm,
welcome back picnics and so forth. And the reception has been very nice. Very,
welcome back. Mm,
yeah.
mm-hmm. All right. So, what's the sort of price range that somebody is looking for with these services now? So, I want to have a nice picnic. It's me and my boo. What's the price range looking like?
Okay, so we have price ranges, and that
Mm-hmm.
is because it accommodates what do I call it now? The
Custom
range.
experience that I want.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you prefer a non-alcoholic alcoholic wine compared to an alcoholic wine, the price range would cover that. So for example, the popular package is for
Yeah.
$15,000 to
Mm-hmm.
17,500, right? Which includes
Mm-hmm.
the setup, the food, the wine, all that. The
Mm-hmm.
sweethearts package goes from 17,500 to 19,500. Again, just accommodate the price levels with the different kind of wines. If you want to switch out something, if you're allergic or anything like that, it accommodates
Mm-hmm.
that as well. The Mr. and
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. package now, it's a whole shebang. So you have roses, real roses, guys.
Yeah.
Roses, champagne. You can add the paint and sip feature if you'd like. Any little
Mm-hmm.
addition, and also in the summer, this is a
Yeah.
tip off. We're gonna have some Polaroids and some brunch picnics as well, partnering
Ooh.
with First Bite JA on Instagram. So that gives
Mm-hmm.
a more breakfast themed picnic and so forth. And the Polaroids can be added to each package as well.
I absolutely love to see it.
All
And I
right.
and I love that it came out of something you seeing lame. And you said, no, we have to do better. Like I want better
Yeah,
and bringing that
exactly.
to the market.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, the too long and I'm a hopeless romantic as well. So the whole shebang, the roses, guy bringing the roses to the girl and all that, I'm all for that. So I say, you know what? Let's provide this for the man.
Awesome. But you have a giveaway for us, Saidah. What's that
Right.
giveaway, and how can our viewers, listeners, partake
And
in that?
Monique. Yeah.
Right. Right. So we have a giveaway now for any of our viewers or listeners. They
Yeah.
will get a 15% off on any picnic package of their choice once
Mm-hmm.
they follow both Digital Jamaica and datenight.jm, and they use the
Mm-hmm.
promo code, which is great time, which is GR8, the number 8TIME.
All
Everybody
right.
heard
So
that?
if you use the promo code Great Time GR, the number 8TIME, and if
Right.
you're following both Digital Jamaica and datenight.jm over on Instagram, then
Right.
you will get a 15%
Percent
discount
off
on any packages.
any
Any
one of them.
package.
All
Boy,
right. So you
yo.
meet a little guy contender, and your conversation are going
Yeah,
good.
man, just hit
Yes.
it and at
And
him
you
under one
say,
of the
baby,
packages.
curfew, Saturday,
Babe,
shut
I
down
love
4
ya.
o'clock,
Right,
10 o'clock
right,
picnic, let's go.
right. Roll out the Sunday
15% off.
best.
Awesome.
I have
Right,
a
right.
question, Saidah. In terms of
Sure,
the
no problem.
picnics, it includes the location. So you have
Yes,
certain
yes.
locations that you use.
Right.
Okay.
So the main location is Hope Gardens. We've had a Hollywell picnic, which was actually beautiful. But that attracts a little extra for the transportation to get to Blue Mountains.
Awesome, awesome. So she should do everything.
Right.
She do everything. Only
Very
just have to
local,
show up
cute.
and be cute and do the
Cute,
thing, right?
ready for pictures. Right. Picnics
All
are
right,
for
then
poses.
Saidah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. And guys, support small businesses. I think this is a fantastic idea. Very novel idea. Makes sense. You know, listen, some people are just bad at planning dates. It's just really bad at planning dates. Now you have a professional who is willing to do it all for you. Just need to show up and be cute, right? Yes.
Excellent.
All right, guys. Regardless of whether you're going to take the 50% discount, please to go and follow datenight.jm over on Instagram and support small businesses. And there's some free ways you can do that. You can share her platform in your stories, recommend her to persons. You know, let's support our small businesses during this time. Thank you so much, Saidah.
Thank you guys for the opportunity as well.
No problem. Take care. All right, that was awesome. So guys, we have 2 giveaways today. You can win a 30-day a guided program from Kaysha, who is a certified coach. She trains mostly women, mostly professional women, to help you get into a space where you're actually ready for a relationship, and that you can know what you're looking for and be very clear about that. All you have to do is slide in her DMs and tell her why you want this, why this is important to you, and what kind of help you need, and she'll decide she'll choose one person. You have to be following her page as well. And of course, Saidah is giving a 15% discount to Digital Jamaica live viewers. If you want to go on that nice first date and you want to impress, get use up that coupon and make sure that you get that nice cute date set up and have a good time. It's all about, as everybody says, having a good time. Don't take it too seriously, whether it's online or offline. Exactly, Monique. Being open. Don't be thirsty like Kadia. Just be open and take it easy, take it slow, go at your own pace. Go at your own pace. Sign up for 50 million dating sites if you want to have one conversations and just make it fun, have a good time, and hopefully you'll find somebody amazing. Like how Monique did. Monique cannot tell her the story.
You're ready for the story now?
We're ready for the story, Monique. We're ready for the story, Monique.
Okay, so how do I start?
Watch our face. So Monique, you were single for some time. And you were actually interested in being in a relationship, but not never that go on for you.
Not never did that go on for me.
And then out of the blues, what happened?
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the nothing did that go on for me, because nothing really never did that go on for me. I mean, going out on a couple dates, or like you reconnect with some persons, or just literally being open. But with things kind of slowing down, we're sort of the pandemic. I'm the kind of person who, like on a Friday night, I want to go get some drinks, or I want to do something. I want to see people. We work digitally and virtually every day. And, you know, I live with my parents. I want to get out. I want to get out and see somebody else other than, or hear a goat outside a bleat or something, cause country, Trust me. So you meet a couple persons, but just like what the coaches and persons who we spoke to today were talking about, I kind of knew what I want. And in terms of wanting a relationship, I actually met somebody who was amazing, but he wasn't ready for a relationship. He didn't want a relationship, But I didn't just want a hookup. And because he was such an awesome guy, I knew if me got this, so me I go in love and whatever. Going fall, jump from mountain and skydive.
She's so extra, guys.
And it's true. It's true. So I knew I would have been skydiving and falling in love. And him tell me from day one, he's an honest person to say, listen, Monique, I'm not ready. So it just never happened. And then, you know, out of the blue, I got a DM, I got an Instagram message saying, "Hi, you know, I really love your work. You've been doing a lot of stuff." I'm like, who is this person and what do they want? Like, what is this? Yeah. And invite me out because they want to get to know me better. And I'm like, what the, like, is this you know, what we're doing, you know, whatever. But as it turns
So
out,
somebody slid into your DM.
yeah, man, sliding at the DMs. And you know what, actually, so normally in another situation I probably would have just deleted the message and moved on. But the person knows one of my childhood friends. Like, I posted a flashback picture of me and somebody who I've known since I was a little girl, like probably like 3 or 4 years old. And it's his cousin. So I was intrigued. I was like,
It's always a certain amount of degrees of separation,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I was like, So, you know, I asked her one question here, and she's like, yeah, man, he's a good guy, and this, that. I was like,
She not gonna
okay.
say her cousin isn't a good guy.
I know, right? But at the same time, but listen, trust me, you see this girl look out for me more than, yeah. Anyways, so
you trusted
yeah.
her judgment. in other
Yes, I
words.
trust her judgment, and she was looking out for me. Like, she go around and do some background investigative work on my behalf and everything, you know. But anyways, so yeah, got invited to this nice, you know, restaurant and and I went, and what it was we just ended up having a really nice conversation. So we ended up a chat. I ended up laughing at the people in the restaurant, and you know, my laugh not quiet or soft. And he was very open, and I was just like, why are you telling me all of this? Like, you're telling me your whole life story. Like, I know, and you know, but at the end of the day, what that did was allowed me to be more open, because you see, Marlon talk about Stonewall, me know about that. All right. Hi, and you get this. And then he was like, I know nothing about you. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right.
But,
So you met somebody who allowed you were comfortable being open with.
Yeah, over
Because
time,
they were comfortable being open with you.
me just see everything. I mean, I say, oh, you just show me everything. So like all your every not physically, but all your dangly bits, like everything.
So long story short,
Yeah.
you know, of a man.
Yeah, and him
Proper
nice.
proper relationship.
Proper.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Monique's story, and I'm happy to say I played a role in it, because I was the one who counseled her. Because truth be told,
Katie, I'm saying, I don't see this going anywhere, you know.
Yes, because Monique have a type. Monique
Yes,
have
I
a
do.
physical type. Monique like
I
drag
do.
man, like muscle man, yeah? Monique have
man.
a type. And
Love
I
it.
remember having that conversation with
Love
Monique.
it.
I was like, listen, give it a try.
Yeah,
Go
you
for the
know?
next date. You deserve
Yeah.
you do, because what you told me was you like how he made you feel.
Yeah.
That's what you told me. You said, you know, I
Yeah.
like how this guy make me feel. I was like, girl, that's the best thing in the world. If you meet somebody and that person make you feel good about yourself, make you feel seen and appreciated and loved and happy.
Yeah.
And I was
And
like,
I remember
girl,
Katie
if you
asked
feel
me.
that on the first date, you
Yeah.
got to give it another go and
Yeah,
just
Katie
see where
asked
it
me.
goes, because you know, sometimes you meet somebody, they're not necessarily your type, but the more you get to know them and the more you get to talk to them, the sexy and the cute and pretty they look. Yes. So I am glad. Maurice, you owe me money.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Money, you owe me money. I'm just saying I need to go into the matchmaking business. But you know, thanks for sharing your story, Money. But guys,
Thanks for
that's all we
scandalizing
have.
me.
But you're happy. You're happy, and it's obvious that you're happy. It shows. Thank you guys for staying with us on the Digital Jamaica Live show. We had a very awesome conversation.
We had a very
today.
festive conversation.
Yes, make sure that you're following us on social media over on Twitter at Digital Jamaican, on Instagram at digital.jamaica, and on all our other platforms. Next week, We are talking to young YouTubers, young Jamaican YouTubers who are doing the damn thing on the YouTube platform, earning money and being cute about it. Guys,
Yes.
there's still time to sign up for the brand monetization webinar coming up this Friday at 6 o'clock.
We've
We have an
expanded our
amazing
capacity
panelist,
again.
yes, of 14 Jamaicans who have built their brands and have monetized their brands, and they're going to come and tell us how to do it. You don't want to miss that. And we have some giveaways. We're giving away some kits to help you get started, some good things, some items to get you started, thanks to our sponsor, Breadfruit Media. You don't want to miss that. Registration link is on all our platforms. Just click the link in our bio and go and register. It's going to be really, really good, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.